Talia Richards used to smile whenever people called her husband a blessing. Dwayne Richards was handsome, respected, and always dressed like success. At church, he held her hand and prayed like a faithful man. At work events, he introduced her proudly, like she was his crown. Everyone believed their marriage was perfect. But behind that public image, Talia felt a quiet coldness growing. She couldn't explain it yet. Still, her spirit kept whispering that something was wrong, and she should pay attention closely. It started with small changes that felt too sharp to ignore. Dwayne began taking calls outside, speaking in low tones. He started turning his phone face down, even at dinner. When Talia asked simple questions, he answered with irritation. Some nights, he came home smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. Other nights, he returned late, claiming meetings ran long. He laughed less, touched her less, and looked through her like she was invisible. Talia tried to pray, but fear kept pressing her chest. One evening, while Dwayne showered, his phone buzzed on the couch. Talia wasn't trying to snoop, but the screen lit up. A message flashed boldly. "Baby, I'm scared." What if she finds out? Her heart dropped like stone. The contact name read business partner, yet the words sounded intimate. Talia's fingers trembled as she set the phone down. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She simply sat there, listening to the water running, realizing her marriage might already be on fire. The next morning, Talia moved through the house like a ghost. She cooked breakfast, but her appetite disappeared. Dwayne ate quickly, barely looking at her, then rushed out. When she tried to ask about the message, he cut her off.
About that message we received.
You worry too much.
Talia watched his car leave and felt her heart pounding. She knew she needed answers, but she feared the truth waiting for her. At midday, she visited his office with lunch, hoping to see him smile again. The receptionist hesitated before letting her in. When Talia reached the hallway, she heard laughter behind Dwayne's door. Then the door opened, and a woman stepped out confidently.
Oh, honey, you shouldn't have brought lunch. We just finished dessert.
She was young, curvy, and polished, with expensive hair and a sharp smile. She didn't look surprised to see Talia. Instead, she looked amused, like she had already won. Talia froze, unable to breathe, as the woman adjusted her blouse slowly. Before Talia could speak, Dwayne appeared behind the woman. His face changed when he saw his wife. He quickly moved, pulling the woman slightly behind him, like he was shielding her. "Why you come here?" he asked, voice cold. Talia's throat tightened as she pointed. "Who is she?" Dwayne didn't answer. He only whispered, "Please don't embarrass her." The words hit Talia like a slap. In that moment, she understood something painful. He wasn't hiding the mistress. He was protecting her. That night, Dwayne acted like nothing happened. He ate dinner quietly, scrolled his phone, and avoided her eyes. Talia tried to stay calm, but her hands shook as she served him water. When she asked again who the woman was, he sighed dramatically. "You always looking for trouble," he said. "You too jealous." Talia felt heat rise in her face. She wasn't jealous. She was wounded. But Dwayne spoke with such confidence that she started doubting herself. That was how he controlled the room, by making her feel unreasonable. Over the next days, the house became colder. Dwayne stopped laughing with her, stopped checking on her, stopped touching her. He began sleeping on the couch, claiming he needed space. When Talia tried to talk, he raised his voice. "You stress me out," he snapped. "Me can't breathe." Those words broke her, because she had been loving him gently for years. Yet he spoke like she was the enemy. Talia cried silently in the bathroom, wiping her face before stepping out. She refused to let him see her weakness, even when she felt shattered. Then Shanice made her first move. One evening, Talia received a call from an unknown number. When she answered, a sweet voice laughed softly. "Is you the wife?" the voice asked. Talia's stomach turned. "Who is this?" she demanded. The woman replied, "Me name Shanice. Me just call Fi let you know." "Dwayne love me," Talia's breath caught. Shanice continued, "And if you try fight it, you only go shame yourself." The call ended. Talia stared at her phone, realizing the war had officially started. Talia decided she would no longer beg for honesty. Instead, she began watching carefully. She checked receipts, noted dates, and listened to Dwayne's lies. One afternoon, she saw a bank alert on the shared tablet, money sent to an unfamiliar account. When she asked about it, Dwayne's eyes flashed. "Is business," he said sharply. "Don't touch my things." The fear in his voice sounded deeper than annoyance. It sounded like panic. Talia felt a chill. Cheating was one thing, but panic meant there was something bigger hiding underneath the affair. Days later, she followed him quietly after work. She kept a safe distance as his car turned into a hotel parking lot. Her hands tightened on the steering wheel as she watched him step out. Then Shanice appeared, walking toward him like she owned him. She didn't hug him sweetly. She grabbed his arm firmly, whispering something into his ear. Dwayne nodded fast, like a man under pressure. Talia's heart raced as she realized Shanice wasn't acting like a lover. She was acting like a boss. Talia's stomach twisted with a new fear. What if Dwayne wasn't just unfaithful, but trapped? That night, Dwayne came home angry and restless. He paced the living room, then snapped at Talia for leaving a cup on the table. When she apologized, he still looked furious. Finally, he warned her, "If you ever disrespect Shanice again, you'll go regret it." Talia stared at him, shocked. He was threatening his own wife to protect another woman. Her voice shook as she asked, "Why you defend her so hard?" Dwayne opened his mouth, then closed it. He couldn't answer. His silence confirmed everything. Shanice had power over him, and he was afraid. One Saturday morning, Talia's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. It contained a video. Her hands trembled as she pressed play. The screen showed Dwayne in a hotel room, laughing and drinking. Shanice's voice came from behind the camera, playful and cruel. "Say it again," she teased. "Tell them who you really love." Dwayne laughed and replied, "Me wife adjust responsibility. But you, ya a me real woman." Talia felt her chest crack. The words weren't just betrayal. They were humiliation, spoken with joy. Then the video shifted, and the Real bomb appeared. Shanice zoomed the camera onto documents spread across the bed, bank statements, contracts, and printed transfers. She laughed softly and said, "Him a thief. Him been stealing from him own company. If him try left me post everything." Talia's blood ran cold. So Shanice wasn't just sleeping with him. She was blackmailing him. And Dwayne had been protecting her because he was trapped by his own dirty secrets. Talia's tears fell silently, not only from heartbreak, but from disgust. The man she married was hiding more than an affair. Within hours, the video spread everywhere. WhatsApp groups, Facebook pages, even church chats. People who once praised Dwayne now mocked him. His boss called, suspending him immediately. His friends stopped answering his calls. That night, Dwayne came home looking destroyed, begging Talia to forgive him. "She ruined me," he cried. Talia stared at him, feeling empty. "You ruin yourself," she replied softly. "The day you protect her over me, you bury this marriage." She walked away, not out of hatred, but because she finally chose dignity over pain and peace over betrayal. When a man protects a mistress over his wife, he has already chosen betrayal. Cheating is painful, but defending the other woman is deeper disrespect. Talia didn't pack everything that night. She only took what her hands could carry without shaking. A small bag, her purse, her phone charger, and the dignity Dwayne tried to crush. Dwayne followed her from room to room, crying and pleading. "Baby, please don't go. Me sorry, he kept saying. But Talia's eyes stayed dry. Her tears had finished earlier. She walked out quietly and entered her car like a woman leaving a burning house. She didn't look back, because looking back would break her strength. She drove to her cousin Renee's apartment in Kingston. Renee opened the door and gasped at Talia's face. "What happened?" she asked softly. Talia didn't answer at first. She only sat on the couch, staring at the wall like she was watching her life replay. Then the words poured out: Shanice, the office, the video, the humiliation. Renee held her hand and listened without judging. "You're safe here," Renee promised. That simple sentence warmed Talia's heart. For the first time in months, she felt protected, and it wasn't by her husband. Late that night, Dwayne's mother, Miss Marva, called. Her voice was sharp like a knife. "So you left me, son? After all him do fi you," she snapped. Talia swallowed hard. "Him do plenty. But none it was love," she replied. Miss Marva hissed, "A man will stray. You suppose fi endure." Talia's hands clenched. "Endure disrespect? Endure shame?" she asked. The older woman went silent. Talia ended the call and placed her phone down. She realized something painful. Not everyone wanted her healing. Some people only wanted her obedience. By Monday morning, the story had become entertainment. People who didn't know Talia personally were now experts on her marriage. Some blamed Dwayne, but many blamed her too. "Maybe she too boring," one woman wrote online. Another said, "If she keep her man happy, him wouldn't look outside." Talia read the comments and felt sick. She wanted to scream that she tried. She cooked, prayed, supported, forgave, and stayed faithful. Yet strangers still found a way to place the weight on her shoulders. That was the cruelty of society. Women are blamed even when they're bleeding. Dwayne kept calling nonstop. Sometimes he begged. Sometimes he got angry. "So you just to go throw away we marriage?" he shouted in one voice note. Talia listened once, then deleted it. She refused to argue with a man who only remembered her value after he lost his reputation. Later, he sent another message: "Me lose me job. Me life mash up." Talia's heart tightened, but she stayed firm. His pain was real, but it didn't erase her own. She understood now that guilt was his weapon, and she wouldn't let it chain her again. That evening, Shanice finally appeared again, online. She posted a photo on Instagram in a new outfit, smiling like nothing happened. The caption read, "No man can play me." Talia stared at it, stunned. Shanice wasn't hiding. She was celebrating. Renee leaned over and whispered, "She wicked." Talia nodded slowly. She realized Shanice didn't expose Dwayne for justice. She exposed him for control. It wasn't about right or wrong. It was about power. And the most dangerous people were the ones who smiled while destroying lives, then acted innocent when the smoke cleared. 2 days later, a courier arrived at Renee's door with an envelope for Talia. Inside was a letter from Dwayne's company lawyer. Talia's hands shook as she read it. The company was investigating missing funds, and Dwayne's accounts were frozen. But the letter also mentioned something else. Talia's name was listed on one of the company documents. Her stomach dropped. She hadn't signed anything. She hadn't even seen those papers. Renee watched her face change and asked, "Talia, you okay?" Talia whispered. "Demma dragged me into it." Fear crawled up her spine like cold insects. That night, Talia remembered moments she ignored. Dwayne asking her to sign small papers without reading. Dwayne telling her, "It's just formalities." Dwayne rushing her when she hesitated. She had trusted him like a wife should. Now that trust was becoming a trap. She sat on the bed, shaking, then opened her laptop. She searched her email and found scanned documents Dwayne had sent months ago. Her name was typed beside signatures that looked like hers, but weren't. Her eyes widened. "Forgery," she whispered. Dwayne didn't just betray her heart. He tried to destroy her future too. Talia called Dwayne immediately. When he answered, his voice sounded exhausted. "Talia," he said softly. She didn't greet him. "Why me name depon dem papers?" she demanded. Silence. Then Dwayne stammered, "Mimi did Haffy do it." Talia's blood boiled. "You use me as shield?" she asked. Dwayne cried, "Me never mean fi hurt you." Talia laughed bitterly. "But you did," she said. "You protect Shanice, and you sacrifice me." She ended the call, breathing hard. In that moment, she knew she couldn't just walk away. She had to fight back. Talia hired a lawyer named Mr. Desmond Blake, a calm man with sharp eyes. He listened to her story without interrupting. When she finished, he leaned back and said, "Miss Richards, your husband set you up." Talia's heart thudded. Desmond explained the law clearly. If she didn't act fast, she could be blamed as a partner in fraud. Talia nodded, tears gathering again. "Me only love him," she whispered. Desmond's voice softened. "Love can't protect ya in court," he said. "Evidence can." Those words woke something inside her, strength mixed with fear. Over the next days, Talia became a woman on a mission. She gathered old messages, screenshots, bank alerts, and voice notes. She wrote down dates and locations. Renee helped her organize everything in folders. Each piece of evidence felt like pulling a thorn from her skin. It hurt, but it healed her. For the first time, Talia wasn't begging for love. She was demanding justice. She also contacted one of Dwayne's former co-workers, Andre, who agreed to meet quietly. Andre looked nervous, but he spoke. "Dwayne been doing shady things long time," he admitted. "Shanice just know too much." That night, Dwayne showed up at Renee's apartment unexpectedly. He looked thinner, desperate, and haunted. He stood outside the gate, calling Talia's name. Renee wanted to send him away, but Talia stepped out calmly. Dwayne's eyes filled with tears. "Baby, me swear me love you," he said. Talia stared at him. "Love," she repeated. "You love me so much you sign fraud in me name?" Dwayne flinched like she slapped him. He whispered, "Me was scared." Talia nodded slowly. "So was I," she replied. "But me never betray you." She turned and walked inside, leaving him outside with his shame. Just when Talia thought she was gaining control, Shanice made her boldest move. Talia received another message from an unknown number. It was Shanice this time, no sweetness, no laughter. "Listen good, wife," she wrote. "If you keep push investigation, me a go drop more things. You think you safe? You named Dan too." Talia's hands went cold. Shanice wasn't afraid. She was still playing chess while everyone else panicked. Renee read the message and cursed under her breath. "She want frighten ya," she said. Talia swallowed hard. "It working," she admitted. Later that evening, Talia met Desmond again and showed him the threat. Desmond's eyes narrowed. "Good," he said. Talia blinked. "Good." Desmond nodded. "It proves she involved, and she trying fi intimidate ya." Talia's heart beat faster. For the first time, the fear shifted into courage. She wasn't helpless anymore. She had proof. Desmond advised her to stop responding and let the law handle it. But Talia wanted more. She wanted Shanice to feel what it meant to lose control. She wanted Dwayne to understand what it felt like to be unprotected. That night, Talia sat alone by the window, staring at the city lights. Her life had changed so fast. 1 week ago, she was a wife trying to save her marriage. Now she was a woman fighting to clear her name. She whispered a quiet prayer, not for Dwayne, not for revenge, but for strength. "God guide me," she said. "Me tired of crying." Her phone buzzed again, another message from Shanice. This time it was only 3 words. "Me know your location." Talia's breath caught. Her heart pounded. And in that moment, she realized the war wasn't over. It was just beginning. Talia barely slept after Shanice's threat. Every small sound made her sit up. Renee locked the windows twice and checked the gate. Still, Talia's mind kept racing. She replayed Shanice's words again and again, "Me know your location." By morning, her eyes were swollen, but her voice was steady. She told Renee, "Me not running again." Renee squeezed her hand. "You're brave," she whispered. Talia didn't feel brave. She felt tired. But she understood one thing clearly. Fear was how Shanice controlled people, and she refused to be controlled anymore. That afternoon, Talia went outside to breathe. The street looked normal, yet she felt watched. A gray car sat across the road, engine running. The driver's face was hidden behind tinted glass. Talia's stomach tightened. She walked back inside quickly and told Renee. Renee peeped through the curtain and cursed. "That car wasn't here yesterday," she said. Talia called Desmond immediately. He advised her to report the intimidation and keep records. Talia took a photo of a car, then another. The car drove off slowly, like it was sending a message. That evening, Dwayne sent a long voice note. His tone was broken, almost whispering. "Talia, me swear Shanice dangerous. Me did try leave her before, but she threatened me." Talia listened with a stiff face. She didn't pity him the way she once would. She remembered how he protected Shanice and left her exposed. Still, she saved the voice note as evidence. Then she replied with one line, "Send me everything you know." Dwayne responded fast. "Okay." Talia stared at her phone, realizing the power had shifted. The man who once silenced her was now begging for her help. The next day, Dwayne agreed to meet Talia at Desmond's office. He arrived looking nervous, sweating despite the cool air. When he saw Talia, his eyes dropped. Desmond greeted him firmly and asked him to sit. Dwayne swallowed hard and began talking. He admitted Shanice first met him at a company event, then later demanded money. He claimed she recorded him without his knowledge. Talia watched his mouth move, but all she heard was betrayal. She didn't interrupt. She let him speak, because every word was a rope tightening around his own neck. Dwayne's confession became uglier. He admitted he used company funds to keep her quiet. Then he confessed he forged Talia's signature on documents to protect himself. "Me did panic," he said, voice cracking. Talia's nails dug into her palm. Desmond asked, "Did you intend to frame your wife?" Dwayne hesitated too long. That hesitation was enough. Talia's eyes filled with tears, not from love, but from disappointment. She whispered, "You coulda destroyed me life." Dwayne started crying, saying, "Me sorry." But sorry sounded empty. Sorry couldn't undo the danger he dragged her into. Desmond recorded everything with Dwayne's consent. He then told Dwayne clearly, "Cooperate fully, or face heavier consequences." Dwayne nodded quickly, desperate. He promised to send all messages, receipts, and Shanice's bank details. Talia stood up to leave. Dwayne tried to hold her hand, but she pulled away. "Don't touch me," she said softly. Her voice wasn't angry. It was final. Dwayne's face collapsed. As she walked out, Talia felt something strange, freedom mixed with grief. She had loved this man once. Now she was watching him become the stranger he always was. That night, Dwayne sent a folder of screenshots and voice notes. Talia and Renee sat on the bed, going through everything carefully. Shanice's messages were cruel, demanding money and threatening exposure. One voice note made Talia's blood run cold. Shanice said, "Me have video, me have documents, and me have people. If you ever try play smart, me mash you up." Talia looked at Renee, shocked. Renee whispered, "She sound like criminal." Talia nodded slowly. It wasn't just a love triangle. It was a trap built with fear and greed. Among the files, Talia found something unexpected, a recording of Dwayne and Shanice arguing. Dwayne's voice sounded shaky. "Me can't do this again," he said. Shanice laughed. "Yes, you can. You will do whatever me say." Then she added, "And if your wife talk, me will make sure she go down too." Talia's chest tightened. Shanice had planned to destroy her from the beginning. She wasn't jealous of Talia. She wanted control over Dwayne, and Talia was just collateral damage. Talia saved the recording and forwarded it to Desmond immediately. The next morning, Desmond called with urgency. "This evidence strong," he said. "But you must stay careful. Shanice will panic when she realizes she's losing." Talia's stomach flipped. She asked, "What if she come for me?" Desmond replied, "We will request protection and file intimidation reports." Talia thanked him, but she didn't feel safe. She felt like a target. Still, she refused to hide again. She began writing a full timeline of events, organizing every message by date. She wasn't just saving herself anymore. She was preparing to end Shanice's game completely. 2 days later, Dwayne posted a public apology online. He wrote about mistakes and asked for privacy. He never mentioned Talia's pain. He never admitted he protected Shanice. He only spoke like a man sad about losing his image. Talia stared at the post and laughed bitterly. Renee said, "Him still selfish." Talia nodded. Comments flooded in, some supported him, some mocked him. But the worst ones attacked Talia again, calling her bitter and heartless. Talia's chest burned. Even now, she was still the villain in their story. That afternoon, Miss Marva came to Renee's apartment uninvited. She stood at the door with a hard face and crossed arms. "So this is where you hide," she snapped. Talia stayed calm. Miss Marva said, "Me son need ya. Him embarrass, but you must stand by him." Talia's eyes narrowed. "Stand by him," she repeated. "When him stand by Shanice." Miss Marva's mouth opened, but no words came. Talia continued, "Me not your sacrifice." Miss Marva's face twisted with anger. "You ungrateful," she spat. Talia replied softly, "Me finally grateful to myself." After Miss Marva left, Talia received a strange message from Shanice. It was a link to a private live stream scheduled for that night. The caption read, "Come watch your husband truth." Talia's stomach dropped. Renee leaned closer. "Was she planning?" she asked. Talia swallowed hard. "Another attack," she whispered. Desmond advised Talia not to watch, but curiosity burned. Talia felt her hands shaking again. Shanice wasn't done humiliating them. She wanted a grand finale. And deep inside, Talia feared Shanice had one more secret that could destroy everything she was fighting for. That night, Talia sat with Renee and watched the live stream on a laptop. Shanice appeared on screen, smiling brightly like a celebrity. Behind her, loud music played. She wore a red dress and looked proud. "Big up everybody," she shouted. "Tonight me a go tell Anu everything." The comments exploded with laughter and shock emojis. Shanice started telling stories about Dwayne, calling him weak and desperate. She showed screenshots, hotel receipts, and private chats. Talia felt sick. This wasn't justice. This was entertainment. Shanice was feeding on the humiliation like it was food. Then Shanice leaned closer to the camera and dropped her bomb. "You see Dwayne," she said. "Him a fraud. But him wife know too." Talia's heart stopped. Shanice continued. "Talia sign papers. Talia benefit too. So stop act innocent." Renee shouted, "Liar." Talia's hands turned icy. Shanice pulled out a document and flashed it quickly. It showed Talia's name and signature. The chat went wild. People started typing insults. Talia's vision blurred. Shanice had done it. She had turned the public against Talia again, making her look guilty. But then something unexpected happened. Desmond joined the live stream comments from an official account. He typed, "That signature is forged. We have recorded confession and evidence submitted." Shanice froze for half a second. Her smile slipped. The chat shifted instantly. People started asking questions. Shanice tried to laugh it off, but her voice shook. Talia stared at the screen, stunned. Desmond had stepped into the fire to protect her. Shanice ended the live abruptly, her face tense. Talia exhaled slowly, shaking. Renee hugged her tightly. Talia whispered, she panicking now. And for the first time, she felt hope. The next morning, Desmond called Talia early. His voice was firm and urgent. "We filed the intimidation report today," he said. Talia agreed immediately. She dressed simply, tied her hair back, and went with Renee to the station. Sitting on the hard bench, she felt the weight of everything pressing her chest. A policewoman took her statement carefully and asked for screenshots, recordings, and Shanice's threats. Talia handed over her phone evidence with shaking hands. She never imagined she would be here because of a man she loved. Still, she refused to let fear silence her again. After the report, Talia stepped outside and breathed deeply. The air felt heavy, but she felt stronger. Renee said, "You're doing good." Talia nodded. Then her phone buzzed. It was Dwayne. He sounded frantic. "Talia, Shanice call me, she say she'll go disappear, but before she go, she'll go destroy everybody." Talia's eyes narrowed. "Let her try," she replied. Dwayne begged, "Please, me can't lose everything." Talia's voice stayed calm. "You already lose it when you choose her," she said. She ended the call and looked at Renee. "We have to finish this," she whispered. That evening, a police officer called back, asking Talia to come in again. When she arrived, the officer showed her something disturbing. Shanice had filed a counter-complaint, claiming Talia was harassing her and planning to harm her. Talia's mouth fell open. "Wah," she gasped. Renee cursed loudly. The officer warned, "These cases can get messy." Talia felt her stomach drop. Shanice was playing the victim now, trying to confuse the system. Talia left the station with her heart pounding. Shanice wasn't just reckless. She was strategic. And Talia realized the fight would not be won by emotions. It would be won by proof. Desmond arranged a private meeting with Andre, Dwayne's former co-worker. Andre arrived nervous, glancing around the cafe like he expected danger. He sat quickly and spoke in a low voice. "We didn't want to get involved," he admitted, "but this thing bigger than I knew." Talia listened closely. Andre explained that Dwayne's company had been under quiet investigation for months. Missing funds, fake invoices, suspicious transfers. Andre said Dwayne wasn't the only one involved, but Shanice had recordings of multiple people. That was why she felt untouchable. Talia's hands trembled as she realized how deep the mess was. Andre then gave Desmond a flash drive. "Everything upon it," he said. "Emails, invoice copies, and a video Shanice sent me when she was boasting." Desmond took it carefully like it was gold. Talia's heart raced. This could clear her name completely. Andre looked at Talia with pity. "Me sorry," he said softly. "Your husband used you like shield." Talia's eyes burned, but she nodded. She was past crying for Dwayne. She only wanted to survive and walk away clean. Andre warned them, "Shanice will run soon. She know police coming." That night, Desmond called again after reviewing the flash drive. "Talia, this is enough to press charges," he said. "But we must move fast." Talia's voice was steady. "Do it," she replied. Desmond hesitated. "Once we do this, there is no turning back," he warned. Talia inhaled deeply. "Me already crossed the bridge," she said. "Me not going back." When she ended the call, she stared at the ceiling, feeling a strange peace. The truth was finally louder than the lies. And Shanice's power was starting to crack. The next day, Talia received a message that made her blood freeze. It was from Shanice again. Only one line, "Meet me if you want clear your name." Talia's heart pounded. Renee shouted, "No, don't go." But Talia felt trapped. Shanice knew how to pull strings. Desmond advised against meeting her alone, but Talia insisted. "If she have something, me need it," she said. Desmond agreed to inform the police and set up surveillance nearby. Talia dressed carefully, not like a victim, but like a woman walking into war with her head high. The meeting location was a quiet parking lot near a waterfront. Talia arrived with her phone recording in her pocket. She stepped out slowly, scanning the area. Shanice appeared from behind a black SUV, wearing sunglasses and a smug smile. "Look how brave you get," Shanice teased. Talia kept her voice calm. "Talk," she said. Shanice laughed and held up a folder. "This can save you," she said, "but you must do something for me." Talia's eyes narrowed. "Why you want?" Shanice leaned closer and whispered, "Tell the police Dwayne forced you sign. Blame him fully." Talia felt disgust rise in her throat. Shanice wanted to escape by throwing Dwayne under the bus completely, using Talia as her shield. Talia shook her head. "Me not lying for you," she said. Shanice's smile vanished. Her face hardened. "Then you go sink with him," she hissed. Talia's heart hammered, but she didn't step back. "Me have proof," she replied. Shanice's eyes flickered with panic. She turned sharply as if to leave. At that moment, police vehicles rolled in quietly. Shanice froze. Talia's breath caught. Shanice had walked straight into her own trap. Shanice tried to run, but officers moved fast. One grabbed her arm, while another blocked the SUV. Shanice screamed, "Anu can't touch me," but her voice sounded desperate now. Talia stood still, watching the woman who terrorized her finally lose control. The police searched Shanice's bag and found cash, multiple SIM cards, and a small recorder. They also found printed documents and hotel receipts. Shanice's face twisted with rage as she stared at Talia. "You think you win," she spat. Talia's voice was soft. "Me think me free," she replied. News spread quickly again, but this time the tone changed. People who mocked Talia now started apologizing in private messages. Some said, "Sorry sis, we didn't know." Talia read them without emotion. Sympathy felt too late. Dwayne called her crying, saying, "Thank you." Talia didn't respond. She had not done this to save him. She had done it to save herself. Desmond confirmed the police had enough evidence to charge Shanice for blackmail and fraud involvement. Talia's chest loosened for the first time in weeks. The nightmare wasn't over, but the monster was finally in chains. That night, Miss Marva called again, but her voice was different, softer, almost ashamed. "Talia," she said quietly, "me sorry." Talia closed her eyes. Miss Marva continued, "Me never believe ya." Talia's voice stayed calm. "It okay," she replied, though it wasn't. Miss Marva asked, "You coming back to Dwayne?" Talia paused. The question felt heavy. She remembered Dwayne shielding Shanice, threatening her, and signing fraud in her name. She opened her eyes and answered clearly, "No." Miss Marva inhaled sharply. Talia ended the call gently. Forgiveness could happen someday. But reunion? Never. Weeks later, the investigation cleared Talia officially. Desmond handed her the final paperwork, and she felt her knees weaken with relief. "You're safe now," he said. Talia thanked him with watery eyes. Outside the office, she stood in the sunlight and breathed deeply. It felt like stepping out of a dark tunnel. Renee hugged her tight and whispered, "You did it." Talia nodded slowly. She didn't feel like a hero. She felt like a woman who survived betrayal, shame, and fear, and still chose to stand tall. That was victory enough. Dwayne asked to see her one last time. Talia agreed, meeting him in a quiet public park. He looked older, broken, and smaller than the man she married. He tried to speak, but tears came first. "Me sorry," he whispered. Talia nodded. "Me hear you," she replied. Dwayne begged, "Give me another chance." Talia shook her head gently. "Me can't," she said. "Not because me hate you, but because me remember everything." Dwayne covered his face, sobbing. Talia stood up slowly, her voice calm. "Me wish you healing," she said, "but me choose peace." As she walked away, the wind brushed her face like comfort. She felt pain still, but it wasn't controlling her anymore. She had learned that love without respect is a cage. She had learned that silence can be strength, and evidence can be protection. Talia returned to Renee's car, sat down, and smiled faintly. "Where to now?" Renee asked. Talia looked ahead and answered, "Forward." The road in front of her wasn't perfect, but it was hers. And for the first time in a long time, she felt free enough to breathe. A man who protects a mistress will eventually be destroyed by her. Never ignore red flags. Small lies always grow into bigger dangers. Evidence saves you when emotions can't. Some people don't love you, they use you, and they will expose you. Peace is worth more than a marriage built on disrespect. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put on post notifications.